Workers peel the bark from the tree completely with an axe. This is the oak bark used to make corks. It is thicker and more malleable than ordinary bark. At the same time, in order to protect these oak trees, in the first 15 years of the oak tree growth, these oak trees will always be protected by local laws, prohibiting everyone from harvesting the bark in advance. Also because this oak has 2 layers of bark. As the oak matures, the outer bark grows laterally outward and dies after 9 years. At this time, the worker will carefully use the cutting tool to cut off the outer bark of the trunk part of the oak tree, so that the inner bark can continue to grow outward without affecting the growth of the oak tree. The oak bark from the first harvest is very irregular in thickness and density, but with more harvests the bark becomes more uniform in gauge and density. So when the oak tree is more than 50 years old, the bark can be processed. Before processing, workers place the bark under the sun for a 6-month air drying process, allowing the bark to gradually dry and oxidize while being more malleable. After drying, they are boiled whole in hot water, reducing the tannin and mineral content of the wet bark, while making the bark softer. After several times of boiling, the workers dry the flattened bark, and then it can be sent to the processing plant for processing. In the factory, workers first put the bark under the cutting machine. The bark that has become very soft is easily cut into long strips, and then passed through the conveyor belt to another worker to punch holes evenly on the bark. The cork embryo is ready. It is sent to the next step by the conveyor belt. Workers on both sides will pick out the flaws, and the remaining corks will be engraved with the factory's logo on them. So the corks are made, and then they can be packaged for sale.